the good fortune of the treasure of great-grandmothers. And I know there are very few people who have that opportunity to grow up with a great-grandmother. So it's now my dear pleasure to invite up a great-grandson, Yedidya Koschitzky.
Dear great Bubby, my grandparents, Zeta Saul, Bubby Mira Koschitzky, my great uncle and aunt, Uncle Henry and Auntie Julie Koschitzky, and my other set of grandparents who are here as well, and I think it is a testimony to the closeness of the Koschitzky family, Mr. Joey and Annette Colton, honored guests, and distinguished educators. I would like to open up my Dvar Torah with a tract that we read this Rosh Hashanah and every Rosh Hashanah. The tract is from Parshat Vayera, and on the first day of Rosh Hashanah, what we read is an interesting pact signed between Avraham Avinu and Avimelech. I'm gonna be reading just one pasuk out of that tract, and I would like to deepen this point. ויהי בעת ההיא, ויאמר אבימלך לפי כל שר צבאו אל אברהם לאמור, אלוהים עמך בכל אשר אתה עושה, ואתה ישבעה לי ואלוהים, הנה תשקור לי ולניני ולנכדי, כחסד אשר עשיתי עמך תעשה עמדי, ועם הארץ אשר גרת בה. Avimelech, in these two psukim, is asking Abraham to swear for his great-grandchildren and grandchildren that he will not break this pact. A lot of the commentators, Rashi, as the one who foremost talks about this, says that he's not actually swearing to his great-grandchildren and grandchildren, but he actually adds the two and says that he is swearing 7 generations in advance. Although today there are only 4 generations here, I can personally attest that every Friday when I call Great Bubby, she asks when the 5th generation will be. Adir and Martin can attest the same thing, so don't worry. Here today are standing different people who signify the 7 generations. I can just give it as an example. Uncle Hartley, who's named after Great Bubby's father, which would be to me 6 generations above, Tzvi Hirsch Halevi. And my father, who's named after Great Zeta's father, Yoel Yitzchak, after Chanina Yitzchak. This point I want to talk about is the continuous tradition in our family, the fact that every single one of Great Bubby's grandchildren and great-grandchildren has continued in modern orthodoxy. And Tulila just talked about different aspects, the fact that 4 of her grandchildren who have come of age have served in the IDF, the Israeli army. I'm proud to say that I'm standing here before you today, and I'm an officer in the Israeli army. I don't think that 60 years ago, where Great Bubby was, she could have even imagined such a thing was possible. I think this is a testimony to what Great Bubby has educated even me personally over the years, to how family, tradition, the importance of education. And I will be giving an example of myself once again. I've learned in a yeshiva in a high school, which was Yeshiva High School, a Yeshivat Bnei Akiva. I then continued, as well as my siblings and my cousins, to different yeshivot and midrashot, higher education in Jewish studies, and of course, we have after continued, whether me to the army or my cousins to secular education, universities, whether it is secular universities or yeshiva universities. This testimony and what we are actually dedicating today, a Jewish history department, I think has one great meaning, and I would like to end with what is the ending of the laning on Rosh Hashanah. At the end of the pact signed between Avimelech and Avraham, Avimelech goes to his different way. But what the Torah describes about Avraham is a fascinating point that I think is very relevant here. Avimelech and his head of the army went their ways. And then the Torah goes on to describe Avram. ויתה אשל בבאר שבע, ויקרא שם בשם אדוני אל עולם. ויגור אברהם בארץ פלישתים ימים רבים. That is how we end the learning on Rosh Hashanah. And I think I will right now explain the pasuk. What it actually says is, Abraham plants an eshel. An eshel is a tree that has very, very deep roots. The roots spread out all over. It looks for water, which of course we know in Judaism signifies Torah. And not only does he just plant this tree to enrich the land, he calls the place in the name of Hashem. Hashem, Hashem, El Olam, forever. It has been spoken here that the investment that Rebbe has made in this part of Jewish history is not just giving money, it's not just philanthropy, it's an investment. It's calling El Olam, it's something forever. The Department of Jewish History and the continuation of the study of Jewish history is something for our future generations, for me, for my children, for my grandchildren, please God. And the calling it B'Shem Hashem, it's not just I'm planting a tree, just something plain. I'm combining it with calling it B'Shem Hashem, calling it in the name of God. I'm standing here today in Bar Ilan University, which signifies the combining of secular and Jewish studies, is known to be the religious Zionist university. I think it's very fitting. Bubby, I want to wish you much more happiness, only things like this, and to enjoy your grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and please God, your great-great-grandchildren, as you wish.